Alright YouTube, this is 2cent back with my 2 cents on Echoes of Mana, and welcome to my new player guide. I've seen a lot of new players starting the game out, and I want to give you a guide that's relevant to how the game is today. So if that's you, hit that subscribe button so you can get some more information as we go along, and let's get into it. Alright, so when you start a new game, you're always kind of curious, what do I use my pull currency on? What unit should I be going for? And I think right now, up until the end of July, Lark is your best option. I'm always going to say pick the unit on the current rate up that has the best capability for auto farming for your teams, because you're going to be wanting to do quite a bit of auto farming in a game. Of course, it's a mobile game. And I think Lark is really good in that regard, and in other play modes, Lark is going to be good as a manual play as well. So for some harder content, if you want to know more about Lark, I will post a link to my video on him at the end of this video, so stay tuned for that. Alright, and while you're picking up Lark as your 4-star unit on the banner, I would also be shooting for 2 or 3 of these units as well. These are 3-star units, so you'd be looking at Seraphina and Lucas. They're both bow users, so they're kind of nice to be able to kind of stand back as Lark's taking up that front slot to kind of put a buffer between you and the enemies. Seraphina's also got like an armor break, so that's always useful. Also will help with Lark. But then Charlotte is a healer, so she's going to be one of the best 3-star units, really the only 3-star healer, because all the other healers are either 4-star or 2-star. So if you could pick up 2 or 3 of these, particularly like Charlotte and one of the bow users, I think that will go a long way to helping you get a good solid team to start out with. There are some reroll guides out there. I'll link one down in the description below from my buddy Auronnj. Now while you're on the banner polling, there will be memory gems that are on there, and you might get lucky and get some of those 4 stars or even some of the better 3-star versions of those. However, if you don't luck out for those, it's okay. They do provide some decent 3-star memory gems via the story mode as you're going through and completing it. Here's just an example here. This one's from the latest story chapters, and it would be something that would be really good for that Charlotte for healing, or any of the healers currently in the game. Alright, and as a quick tip, we get these things called benevolence. They actually act as dupe for your characters, so you can unleash your character up to 6 times, which means you need the original copy plus 6 additional copies to fully max out a unit, which is a big ask when we're looking at 4-star units. So every now and then we will get these 4-star benevolence, and I would say just hold off. Don't use them right away. Give yourself a couple weeks to get, accustomed to the game and to really kind of decide who you want to use these on. I would always recommend not on any of the units that are in the base summoning pool at the moment. Use them on the newer units that are coming out. They're going to be a little bit stronger, a little bit of power creep as they go, and then it's going to take like 40 days for them to enter the standard pool. So that's how I think you should use them. As far as the 3-star versions of the benevolence, I would use them on any of your units, but maybe the ones that I had suggested earlier, that Lucas, Charlotte, and Seraphina. One of the very early roadblocks that you're going to find is Lucra in the game, as well as the seeds that you use to level up your memory gems that also require Lucra to level those up. And Lucra is just basically like the gold value in the game. So what we're going to want to do is on our daily training, you're going to get 3 missions of this per day. You actually want to go into there and make sure you get all 3 runs in the memory gem category. So when you're very new, you'll have to unlock each one of them, and you can spend a couple days unlocking everything if you want, but then you're going to really want to focus on doing the highest level memory gem one that you can, and that's going to help you in 2 ways. You'll be able to level up your memory gems that you're going to be needing for your units to help get them stronger. And then you can also sell the lowest rarity of those seeds, which add very little memory gem experience, but actually give you quite a nice payout for Lucra. Alright, now as you're trying to figure out, okay, what content should I be focusing on, where should I be going, this is going to be kind of where I kind of give you that sort of a direction. That is to go to your mission board and go to your bingo board tab, and you're really going to want to fill out and just finish this newbie bingo board. It's going to kind of give you that kind of instructions on where to go and what to do next. Basically, it's going to be finish story as far out as you can finish the story mode, and then if you get stuck there, you're going to move over to doing the memory boards and getting some memory boards unlocked for your units. It's just another way of kind of leveling up and giving them some more stats in there. And then there's going to be what we have called the tower, and you can progress in that tower as well, which will help give you an unlock for a free 5-star unit. So there's only one 5-star unit in the game, and he's given out for free. It is hard to do some of those stages, and so you're going to have to work up to him. But once you get him, I do think he is worth building. And so you're just going to kind of ladder back and forth while following this bingo board to kind of get through the content. As far as the event tab, I would leave most of that alone, besides the real easy, lower challenge levels of them. You can go ahead and do those. It gives you some free spirit crystals anyway. So, but as far as doing the higher end and the competing, or even like the co-op kind of high end stuff of that, I would leave that alone for a couple weeks as you're just getting your team ready to go here, leveling up all your units. So there's also a support feature in there, so you can actually, on some of the missions, a lot of times you have to at least clear it once yourself first, but then you can access to friends that have their support units out to kind of help you through the content on that. And you're going to utilize them quite a bit when you get into the armor kind of farming stages. The regular story will give you some armor, and you can kind of throw that on your units as you're going. So later on, when you get into wanting to get more specific armor for them, there's actually a whole tab in the kind of quest area that has specific gear dungeons. You're going to go through those. You can bring some ports in there to kind of help make that farming easier. That's going to be somewhat more of where you're moving from that kind of beginning mid game into to the late game. The late game is basically a lot of armor farming and then doing the high end events and getting all of them finished up. So I hope that kind of helped as a new player guide for anybody who's just starting the game out there. Once again, here's a link to some of those videos, and that's been my 2 cents.